Hi, my name is Shruti Vipulapati. I'm a intern and I'm now a COO of Hanumayamma Innovations and Technologies here in Fremont, California, and we're going to be looking at the Sriya AgriVet Monitor today. The Sriya AgriVet Monitor watches over the animals in a shelter continuously and quietly. Each animal wears a necklace that records her movement and the conditions around her. A computer in the shelter collects those records, turns them into charts a worker can read, and produces a monthly welfare report to its trustees. Its purpose in a Goshala or a shelter is welfare, not production. It's designed to answer one question well: is the animal behaving as she normally does? And if not, since when? From version 2.0 in the same platform also watches horses and elephants. The sensor board is identical in all three. What changes is where it is worn and what is asked for in the data. The software that we're about to install is automatically distributed with the Sriya AgriVet Monitor hardware for coincidence of field technicians who have developed software versions that can be installed on Windows 11 operating system. Please make sure that your Bluetooth is enabled. Okay, now we're going to be looking at this system. So firstly, to click the device that you want, you would press the devices, and this can have up to 10 to 20 sensors depending on which ones, horse or elephant and later models. And it's automatic. Every sensor found is collected in turn. No need to press anything. Use collect now only to move to the front of the queue. Again. Now, we're going to look at these three different charts. The signal means how far the sensor is, the cattle is away from the pathway. So if there was all bars, that would mean that it's very close and there's a high signal. And if there's low bars, that would mean that the sensor is very far away. The environment means that how much data is received from the environment. This means either temperature, humidity, or any other environmental patterns around the cattle. The activity means the data that is received from how the cattle is moving, how it's chewing, and how the overall body movements of the cattle. And you can look at this activity log, which shows you what information is received, and you can make sure that you know which one is being given to you. Now we move on to charts, the section right next to main. And right here we go all, which means this shows you a graph of each different thing that we'll be showing later on. So internal versus external temperature, the internal temperature of the cattle based on what the external temperature of its environment, the internal versus external humidity as well, the internal humidity of the cattle, and then the external as well, and accelerometer and the accelerometer magnitude. Now let's look into all of them in a closer angle. So again, here's a little graph on the temperature, and we've talked about it, the internal temperature versus the external temperature, and how it changes. As you can see, this is based on hourly time. So 3 a.m., 6 a.m., 9 a.m., 12 p.m., 3 p.m., all so on and so forth. And this is in military time to make it easier for all different types of environments. Now let's look at humidity. Again, we talked about it before, the internal versus external humidity, and also same thing, it looks at the different hourly rates. Now the accelerometer, and this means the movement of the cattle, and so how active it is. As you can see, it's also based on time, and you can see the little movement in the graph means that the cattle was active at around this time of day. Magnitude, again, also the range of how far the cattle moved. Now you can have a scatter plot, again right here, a line graph, or a box plot. So whatever it makes it easier for you to understand the information being given to you. And again, it's in hours, so you know what hour the cattle moved and where it moved. Okay, rumination time. Again, rumination is another word for digestion, and it's eating patterns. So daily rumination was 90 minutes a day, hours 4 minutes, and now this is just an example. rumination 6.6% of the observed time, so it was digesting its food for 6.6%. And again, you can get a graph as well. This is a box graph, so you can see what time the cattle was mostly digesting and chewing food, and that's from like around 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Again, this is an example. And then lastly, heat stress. So this talks about, again, we're given 4 different colors here. Green, which means it was comfortable; mild, which is yellow; moderate, and which is orange; and severe, which is red. And what these colors mean is how the heat was affecting the cow. Was it comfortable in its environment, or again, as you can see in this graph, later in the day, the heat was affecting the cow a little bit harder than in the morning. Okay, now I'm going to show you how you can send this information to veterinarians, field workers, farmers, and trustees that you have in your pathways configuration. So, okay, you press the send SMS button right here. And again, whatever you've observed that is that you want to display to other people, you can do so while in this message. Okay, and yes. And again, for this purpose of the video, I'm not sending a message, but again, you can, and it's for whatever you think is important to send to your people in your configuration. Okay. Now, the sensors process button right here. So it shows you how many sensors that you have and what is being processed right now. Again, we have one cow necklace. It can be cow, it can be horse, it can be elephant. But right now, in the purpose of this video, we look at cow. And we have one that's really strong. We can see that it's roughly within 2 meters and it's an in range, right? And then you can look at the connection history. This means how many sensors that you have total and when they were connected and their signal. Okay, settings. And if you need to change anything in this app that makes it easier for you to navigate, of course, you can change it. Yes, and now we're gonna go right to welfare analytics. You're gonna click cattle for this video. Again, we're looking only at cattle. Now you can look at the monthly welfare report, which shows you its welfare, the cattle's welfare report in the app. So you can see right here, it looks at the date, it looks at when the date is, and it shows you how the averages of each one. Of course, right now it says to be computed, but of course it's going to be there in the actual app. Again, you can save the welfare report to your laptop. Again, look, it's saved, and you can have something on your laptop to look at. Lastly, you can press on open in browser, and this shows you this welfare report in your browser, so you know what you're looking at, and it shows you it like with words, and it shows you each thing listed out. If the animal is wearing a working sensor and if it's seen every day, again, this helps you understand what the sensor is covering. Okay. And thank you for this video. Thank you for watching this demo, and we're gonna, obviously, this is a great product, and it can help farmers and everyone who is associated with it.